Hey everyone, I'm Derek from Inside Gaming with Seagate. PlayStation 5 games are getting bigger and bolder with better graphics and bigger gameplay, so you're going to need as much high-speed storage as you can get. And that's why today we're going to show you how to expand the overall capacity of your PS5 by installing a high-speed M.2 PCIe Gen 4 SSD. Let's get inside. With the fall 2020 release of the PS5, gamers were able to elevate to a new level with the PlayStation's ultra high-speed processing and built-in PCIe Gen 4 SSD. Gamers now have some of the best choices for next-gen console games, but also as time goes by and you've collected more and more games and media, the quicker that internal SSD starts to fill up. The solution? Installing an M.2 PCIe Gen 4 SSD into the PS5's expansion slot. By adding a compatible Gen 4 SSD into the console, you can expand the storage capacity of the PS5 and play games straight from the expansion SSD while still maintaining the high-speed load times and performance of the built-in storage. Before we get started on the installation, let's first talk a little bit about the expansion SSD requirements. First and foremost, the expansion SSD must be a PCIe Gen 4x4 M.2 NVMe SSD. And that PCIe Gen 4 means high speeds. PlayStation recommends an SSD with sequential read speeds of 5,500 megabytes per second or faster. So make sure you check your SSD performance before purchasing, because not all PCIe Gen 4 SSDs get up to that 5,500 megabytes per second. Now with that high performance and high speed comes the need for us to talk about heat management. To maintain transfer rates and avoid thermal throttling, PlayStation recommends a secondary cooling structure like a heatsink to be used with the expansion SSD. You can buy an integrated heatsink and SSD, or you can add a third-party heatsink to a bare drive. But before you buy a heatsink, make sure you check your console's dimension requirements. The heatsink should be no more than 110 millimeters long by 25 millimeters wide by 11.25 millimeters high. For a full breakdown on the PS5's M.2 SSD compatibility requirements, head to the Sony PlayStation link in our description. Now those specs and requirements may seem a little daunting, but don't be worried because Seagate has a drop-in solution with the FireCuda 530. The 530 is a PCIe Gen 4 SSD with sequential read speeds of up to 7,300 megabytes per second, and it's fully compatible with the PS5 expansion slot. The 530 comes in both a standard bare drive format or with a custom built-in heatsink, and the FireCuda 530 heatsink meets all of PlayStation dimension requirements, so it's an easy drop-in expansion solution. Today, we're going to use the FireCuda 530 with heatsink to show you how to install an expansion SSD into the PS5. But before we get into installing, you're going to need a well-lit room, a flat surface, and a number 1 Phillips head screwdriver. Start by making sure your PS5 software is up to date by heading to Settings, then System, followed by System Software, and then System Software Update and Settings. Here you'll select Update System Software before clicking Update using Internet. Once that software update is complete, we're going to press and hold the power button for 3 seconds to turn off your PS5 console. Remove all the cables and devices from the console and wait for the PS5 to cool down. If you haven't done so already, now is also the time to remove the standing base from the console. Before you open your PS5, make sure you touch a metal grounded object to remove any static electricity from your body. Not doing this step could cause damage to your FireCuda 530 SSD and/or your PS5 console. Next, place your console on a flat surface and let's remove the cover. Position the console so the screw hole on the base is facing towards you with the PS5 logo face down and the power button on the left-hand side. From here, you'll place your palms near the top corners of the PS5 and gently pull up the cover and pull it towards yourself. Beneath it, you'll find a long rectangle expansion slot cover with 1 screw securing it. Remove the screw using your Phillips screwdriver and pull the expansion slot cover away. Inside the expansion slot, you'll find a spacer that should be moved to the 2280 position. Now, take your FireCuda 530 by the edge and align it with the notch on the expansion connector, and then starting from a diagonally upward position, firmly insert it all the way into the slot. Make sure the FireCuda 530 is inserted completely, or it can cause damage to your PS5. Next, tilt the FireCuda 530 down and fasten it with the included screws. Attach the expansion slot cover and fasten the screws onto the top. And reattach the PS5 cover, positioning it and sliding it into place until you hear a click. And there you have it. Now reconnect all your cords, turn on the power, and once the power is on, a formatting guide will take you through and on-screen directions for formatting the new expansion SSD. Finally, to ensure your games are downloading to the FireCuda 530, just head to your home screen and select Settings, then Storage, and then Installation Location. With the FireCuda 530 installed, you now have more space for games and apps, all playable at the same performance and speed as the internal SSD. Reach out and let us know how the FireCuda 530 is improving your PS5 gameplay. And until next time, enjoy your capacity expansion, happy gaming, and thanks for watching.
You've been waiting for this patiently, and I'm finally pleased to announce that the 8TB Rocket 4 Plus is ready to order. So our first 8TB NVMe drive was the Sabrent Rocket Q, which was the first of its kind when we launched it, and we are so proud that we have done it again. The Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus is the fastest 8TB M.2 NVMe SSD, and it took a lot of work to bring it to all of you, but we can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. We are constantly pushing what can be done with storage and pushing the industry as much as we can. So as soon as we launched the Rocket 4 Plus, well, we had the idea to make an 8TB version of it. So this uses PCIe Gen 4, allowing for speeds of up to 7,100 megabytes per second, and is based on 3D TLC NAND chips, which brings all of the benefits of TLC technology. The huge advantage of using this kind of NAND technology over using QLC technology is the fact that it's much faster and allows for much better reliability. If you need more information between the differences of TLC and QLC, we have a fantastic video for you which I'll link up in the cards above. And driving these chips is a custom controller and custom firmware that has been paired with fast DRAM, meaning long-term, fast and consistent performance. This also uses a 4th generation LDPC ECC engine, end-to-end data path protection, advanced wear leveling, bad block management, and smart ECC. Now, we recommend pairing this SSD with the Sabrent heatsink to ensure optimal cooling for top performance. We've been working tirelessly to ensure that this works great with all kinds of workloads and configurations that you may plan on using this for. I've been using this for months now, and I've been not only impressed with its size, but its speed too. Being able to transfer huge file sizes at super fast speeds and being able to push these drives has just been incredible. I'll leave links down in the description below to where you can pre-order this, and I really can't wait to see what you plan on using these drives for. Make sure you follow us on social media and tag us with your builds. We're super excited to see what you do with these drives. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
The way Maingear has always really differentiated ourselves is we have a passion for craftsmanship and performance. So that comes down to the way we build the PCs, but then also the parts we select. One of the challenges that we faced is when the new PCIe 4 NVMe drives launched. It was a brand new technology. It's something that we hadn't seen before. And so we need to make sure that it's going to integrate well into all the components that we offer. We'll run a series of internal synthetic benchmarks that are going to test things like sequential reads, random reads and writes, and then we're going to compare that to everything that's on the market, but then we're also going to do long-term reliability testing as well to make sure that it's going to last in the lifetime that the customer has their system. The difference with Samsung is that they do all their controllers in-house, and so you know that you're getting an end-to-end solution, which is a huge advantage compared to people that are using third-party controllers and third-party firmware and don't have control of the entire stack.
At the end of the day, the customer and user benefits from the SSD pure speed and sustainability, because SSD is just that solid state drive. No moving parts, it lasts a long time. SATA is fast, but NVMe is light years faster than SATA. The Samsung SSD products that Maingear primarily is using now is our flagship 980 Pro Gen 4 NVMe, both 500 gigabyte and the 1 terabyte. It reaches up to speeds of 7,000 megabytes a second. It rivals anything out there, and we're super proud that Maingear is utilizing it with us.
One of the competitive advantages that we have as a business is being time to market with the latest technologies. Our relationship with Samsung has always been fantastic. We're able to test products before they come out, make sure that we have the time to validate it, but also get the continued long-term support throughout the product lifecycle to make sure that we're, offering the best thing that we can.
These NVMe models in general, they're a very simplistic installation. It's click, down, screw. So it's not as intimidating as some would think. The 980 Pro Gen 4 NVMe is for a lot of different applications and verticals out there. One of the first and foremost people think is gaming because of the cutting edge speed, but there's many other use case applications. Pro AV, film creation, architectural, 3D rendering, anything that really requires cutting edge speed can take advantage of this 980 Pro.
Maingear wants to keep innovating, keep releasing products that push the boundaries of what gaming performance can be. It's very important for us to pick partners that share our approach to technology, share the ideals we have, share the quality passion that we have as a business, and Samsung is the perfect partner for that.